Alright, true many cosmic peace. In war times, we are back with Malachi letters, part 10. So this here is going to be a doozy, the next one or two, because of the information that has to be released. Alright, so this Malachi York letter, part 10. I started it on July 26th through June 26th to July 7/19. This is a lot of stuff that I've been doing, been keeping busy. So anyway, I posted York's letter into ChatGPT and it responded. So this is the whole letter here. Some of this y'all seen, but I didn't go all the way into it yet. He said, has you checked to see which language the nature of nature inscribed to speak, and on which tongue, Nupu, Noon, Nupu, Zupu, Zupu, and no word Sabaism as being a part of the signs Noon. Sabaism, now look back at Sabian, an extinct Semitic language once spoken in Saba. Alright, the Bible Sheba in Southern Arabia, originally. I told y'all York, because he's possessed by 6 ether Murdoch. Murdoch's magic script is Arabic. And that's why Murdoch can't go outside of that too funny. His main thing always got to be connected to Arabic. That's his magic spell language. All right, that's what he casts his spell with Arabic, called Aruba. When Yoruba comes in, check it out. Don't believe me. So in fact, Nubic is a way of saying Nubian, a tongue spoken by Christians and of Sudan or Coptic or Gnostic. It's not the same as Nuwapic. The replacement of P with B happened when Costa Cush, or Cush, the son of Khafre Ham, moved eastward and birth Nimrod. So all these are lies. All right, Ham is the Arab race in Noon. For those of y'all who claim to be hardcore followers of York, all you got to do, go into the Bible interpretation as well as the nature books, and it clearly tells you that Ham is the Phoenician or the Arab race. That has nothing. As far as the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, Africans or Kemites, none of that has nothing to do with that. We not even in that particular Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, we know that that's the Phoenicians, the Indian race, and the Mongolian race. We have nothing to do with it. York is just throwing stuff against the wall, lies. All right, Nimrod, who set up both Babylons and mixed Ugaritic to become Akkadian or cuneiform. We already touched on this stuff about York with his saying Hindi was mixed with Ugaric and all this other stuff. Y'all got to go back and just do a search on these languages and find out, are they mixed from one another? This is just a bunch of mess. All right, Akkadian or cuneiform script. Then he said the of Egypt, Pa, right? Talking about the, or Pa becomes Ba or Suma, just as you see today. Again, look, Indo-Arabs created a letter P. That's a lie. It's no P in Arabic. That's why York couldn't do the Nuwapu when he first started messing up the word and said it was Nuwabu, because he needed the B that's inside of Arabic. Okay, it's no P in Arabic. All right, to replace with the B in order not to confuse the two sounds, which still can be found in Hebrew. Again, Hebrew ain't got nothing to do with Nuwapu, because we showed y'all that Nuwapu root word is Nud, meaning gold. So that ain't got nothing to do with Hebrew. Again, throwing religious spell scripts at y'all, which kept both sounds, B and P, or letter F, which Indo-Arabs use Fa. So it's a play on sounds to confuse most. That's what he does. All right, why? So then chat responded, my honest assessment of the letter, I see three separate arguments being mixed together by York. A, Nubic equals Nubian. York said this directly, but historically Nubian is the established linguistic designation for Nubian languages spoken in the Nile Valley. Modern linguistic sources treat Nubian as a group of languages, not Nubic as an established alternate form. My conclusion, York is making a linguistic equivalency claim, but I do not find historical evidence that Nubic was the ancient name of the Nubian language. My response, I checked. There is no language called Nubic in reference to the Nubians in Sudan today. No, Nubic is not a recognized standard language, standalone language. You are likely, okay, this is my bad. This is what the chat is saying. All right. So the chat said, no, Nubic is not a recognized standalone language. You are likely thinking of the Nubian language as a family of indigenous languages spoken in Sudan and Egypt, or the Nubi language, an Arabic-based Creole spoken in Uganda and Kenya. The most prominent of these is Nobin, a historic language spoken by approximately 685,000 Nubian people along the Nile in southern Egypt and northern Sudan. So as a side note, you see York once again leans toward Arabic. Nubians' languages isn't called Nubic, as Mr. York is lying. The name of the language is called Nobin.
Nobin, or Mahaz, is a northern Nubian language of the Nilo-Saharan phylum. Nobin is the genitive form of Nubi, Nubian, and literally means of the Nubians. Another term used is Noban Taman, meaning the Nubian language. At least 2,500 years ago, the first Nubian speakers migrated into the Nile Valley from the southwest. Old Nubian is thought to be ancestral to Nobin, the latter of which is a tonal language with contrastive vowel and consonant length. The basic word order is subject, object, verb. Nobin is currently spoken along the banks of the Nile River.
One, واحد. Two, اثنان. Three, ثلاثة. Four, أربعة. Five, خمسة. Six, ستة. Seven, سبعة. Eight, ثمانية. Nine, تسعة. 10, عشرة.
ويرا أوو توسكو كيمسو ديجا غورجو كولودا إدوو أسكودا تيمي ويرا أوو توسكو كيمسو ديجا غورجو كولودا إدوو أسكودا تيمي.
In southern Egypt and northern Sudan by approximately 495,000 Nubians. Present-day Nobin speakers are almost universally bilingual in local varieties of Arabic, generally speaking Standard Arabic as well as Sydo-Egyptian Arabic or Sudanese Arabic.
Okay, here's what Mr. York calls Nubic. What language is this exactly? That's what I was asking the chat. Of course, when it looks at it and all of that, and this what York is calling the Nubic script. Again, no such thing. The chat response. So the book cover you posted is a very important evidence. I will now write the research finding this way. Nubic appears to be a York Dawabian created or movement-specific linguistic label, not the documented native name of the Nubian language Nobin. York's 2009 letter presents Nubic as a form of Nubian, while later Nawabian materials describe Nubic as a dialect or early stages of Nawapian. This indicates a changing internal definition of that term. The stronger provable point is that he called the language Nubic while the actual language name used in Nubian linguists is Nobin. See, this is what he does. He takes things and corrupts them and renames it, and the dummies don't even go back and check. This is a very good document for your terminology timeline. My response in my research says that the Meroitic is the oldest script in language and doesn't look like this. All right, so this is some of the oldest examples of the Nobin called Nubian languages, and York then using a whole nother thing and calling it a Nubic. All right. ChatGPT respond, yes, Tarkinanuku. And I think your instinct is basically correct with one important distinction. The script on that book is Arabic script. The title Nubic is the part that appears historically, linguistically questionable. This image is not Meroitic script, is what I put. But York is calling it Nubic. But this is really Arabic. My clean assessment, is the script Arabic? Look, it says yes. Is it Meroitic? No. Is Arabic script capable of writing Nubian language? Yes. Is Nubic the established name of the language? I find no evidence for that. Does the book therefore prove the languages is Nobin? No, not by the cover alone. Why the script looks Arabic? Nobin and other Nubian languages have been written using Arabic script as well as Latin-based system. So, Arabic-looking writings does not automatically mean the language is Arabic. The same writing system can be used for different languages, but this is the key point. Arabic script is not the same thing as the Arabic language. Meroitic is the oldest known indigenous written language and script of Kush or Meroe after the Egyptians, writing in one of the Africa's earliest indigenous writing systems. Why? Because Egyptian or hieroglyphic writing predates Meroitic by well over 2,000 years. Also, the Meroitic language itself remains only partially understood. The script has been deciphered to a degree, but the language is still not fully understood. My response. Here's a book cover, Miss Yours book, with the language looks like altered Arabic. And look what he's called it, the Nubic, the language of the Nubian Americans. Again, you can see this is, it looks like just digitalized Arabic. ChatGPT responds, yes, Tarkinanuku, looking closely at this cover, I agree with your observation. The red writing appears to be Arabic influenced or Arabic derived, but I would not call it ordinary Arabic script. And this is an important distinction, what I see on the cover. The red script uses several features strongly associated with Arabic writing. Connected horizontal letter flow, Arabic style baseline, dots placed above and below letters, circular loop forms, right to left visual structure. But several of the actual glyph shapes appear deliberately modified or stylized. So my best description is an Arabic script inspired or modified Arabic writing system, not standard Arabic. I would not identify this as Meroitic. The bigger issue, the title says Nubic. The cover explicitly says Nubic, the language of the Nubian Americans, and the side text appears to be another Arabic-looking text block. This creates an important question. Is the red script actually a historical Nubian writing system, or is it York's constructed Nubic script? Based on the cover alone, I strongly suspect the latter. The actual language, Nubian language traditions, 2 York's constructed language, Nubic equals Nuwapic. The cover's wording strongly suggests that Nubic is the name of the York-Nubian language system, not the actual historical name of the Sudanese-Nubian language. That lines up with the later internal Nubian material we found describing Nubic as an earlier dialect stage of Nubic. Important correction to my early answer. I should have not called the red writing Arabic derived as a fact. The safer, more accurate statement is Arabic looking Arabic influence in visual form, not identified as standard Arabic or majority from this image. Side note, as we can see, Mr. York's being possessed by the god Marduk or Allah today uses his spell-binding logos magic called Arabic is what York and his followers are under, and until they acknowledge this sixth ether madness that all religions and politics are based on logos and controls them, they will never see the spirit being's manipulation. My cleansed reconstruction. The main alphabet shapes is most likely visual soil South Arabian Sabian type forms, while several angular geometric shapes resemble the general visual character of old Southern Arabian writing. Top horizontal bar added across letters, the Devanagari Indian script influence. The later chart's continuous line is a very strong visual clue. This is also specifically noted in the movement's own language discussion. Circular loop forms, hieroglyphic shapes, Arabic plus Hebrew influence. York's material itself said the language combined Arabic, Hebrew, Aramaic, etc. Several glyphs visibly echoes those forms. Invented redesigns of mixed symbols. They are not Egyptian hieroglyphs, they function as a phonetic alphabet. The Rick script, York's own constructed form, not a documented historical alphabet. My bottom line, York appears to have built Nawapic from a visual collage of Southern Arabian, Sabian looking forms, Arabic Hebrew elements, and later Indian script, Devanagari style features, then modified the shapes into a new alphabet. Again, if you look at the letter, he was talking about Indo-Arabs and Arabic, and that's Indonesia, and that goes back to where the Phoenician race comes from, which is on the equator where Indonesia and stuff is at. Java Island is where the Arabs' original man come from. All right, so this is what York is doing. The strongest clue is actually York's own description. He said the language is a combination of ancient Assyrian, Adamic, cuneiform, Akkadian, Chaldean, Nubian dialect, and whatever else we needed. And elsewhere described the three forms as Arabic-like Nubic hieroglyphs like Nawapic and Rick script, which are all Arabic.